Hey, buenos dias. This is Pastor Junior. I'm going to share a story with you guys. It's in Mark chapter 9. I'm focusing on 23 and 24. It's a story of a father who brought his son to Jesus' disciples so they could cast it out. There was a son that had a mute spirit, right? So the father brought his son to the disciples, but they could not cast it out. But here in Mark 9, here in the book of Mark, here in Mark 9:22. Mark chapter 9, verse 22 says this. It says, well, actually 21. Let's read 21 of Mark chapter 9, right? It says, so he asked his father, how long has this been happening to him? And he said, from childhood, right? And then verse 22 of Mark chapter 9, he said, and often he has thrown him both into the fire and into the water to destroy him. But if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us. And then verse 23, it says, Jesus said to him, if you can believe all things, right? Verse 23 of Mark chapter 9, he said, Jesus said to him, if you can believe, all things are possible to him who what? Who believes. Right? And verse 24, dice, immediately the father of the child cried out and said with tears, Lord, I believe. Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief. Notice that. He says, Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. Notice that, right? And so here it is. Here's where we're getting at. It says unbelief won't work with God because God cannot work where there is no faith, right? Once again, unbelief won't work with God because God cannot work where there is no faith, right? Everything we receive from God is because of believing. Everything that we receive from God is because of what? Is because of believing, right? Notice that. It says once again, Mark 9:23, if you can believe, all things are possible for him who believes. All things are possible for him who believes. Once again, right? Once again, everything that we receive from God is because of believing, right? Mark 9:23, once again, if you can believe, all things are possible for him who believes, right? And then verse 24 says, immediately the father of the child cried out and said with tears, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. And why? Because faith is the delivering, right? Because faith is the delivering power of God. Why? Because faith is the delivering power of God, right? Verse Mark 9:24, once again. And immediately the father of the child cried out and said with tears, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. And why? Because faith is the delivering power of God. Amen. Just wanted to encourage you guys with that. Amen. Faith is the believing power of God. Amen. Orale. God bless you guys.